Can greatness be achieved while having a 9 to 5? I want to preface this right here at the start. If what you're doing in your 9 to 5 is what you want to do and it is your greatness, then this video probably isn't for you. This is more for people who feel that their greatness is outside of their 9 to 5, that what they offer isn't currently in the role of what they're doing, and it's something bigger and greater. Hi, my name is Tom, and I'm currently working in a Big Four accounting firm here in New Zealand. A corporate job like this is probably one of the leading definitions of a 9 to 5. So do I feel qualified to be talking about this? Yes. Your situation. You're in a 9 to 5, and the speed at which you're progressing does not meet the rate of your ambition within that 9 to 5. You wanted the promotion yesterday, you wanted the pay rise last week, but your frustration continues to build because a lot of these things are out of your control. You're waiting for the person above you to leave, or you're waiting for that recognition that you know you should get but aren't getting. That's the corporate ladder. If you're an ambitious person, you've probably felt this before. So what should you do about it? And can you do anything about this ambition that you have? I mean, considering that you work a 9 to 5 and with a commute, that's probably more of an 8 to 6. I'm going to break down 3 learnings of mine that I've learned while being in a 9 to 5 and trying to build something that's bigger than me, bigger than probably what I'm doing currently. Let's break this down. My first learning. Love has been defined to me as what you're willing to give up in order to maintain the relationship with. So if you play sports, that means that you're willing to give up your evenings during a weekday and your Saturday to maintain the relationship with that sport, which shows that you love the sport more than you do the free time in your evenings and that time on Saturday. You can apply this framework to whatever you do. It's objective and action based, and it shows you in your life what you truly love. If you want to be a high achiever and excel in the field of your choice, but before and after work you're doom scrolling and watching Netflix, then you're simply lying to yourself. You're not willing to give up the cheap dopamine and the doom scrolling in order to maintain the relationship with your goal, which is required for it to be achieved. Mentally in your head, you may be telling yourself, no, I love my goal more than I do doom scrolling on Instagram, but your actions are saying otherwise. That's why I think defining words by what the action looks like is really important. This first learning was an epiphany I had on the bus going to my 9 to 5. I suddenly realized I had to be very brutal with cutting out things in my life, which would then mean I could maintain the relationship with my goal. So, step 1, I had to define the things that I was willing to give up in order to maintain the relationship with it. And step 2, I had to then determine ways of how I was going to cut them out as fast as possible. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If you're doom scrolling an hour a day outside of your 9 to 5, now, I mean, you shouldn't be doom scrolling in your 9 to 5, but if you're doom scrolling an hour a day outside of your 9 to 5, that simply means that you love the doom scroll more than you do trying to achieve your goal. And that's a reframe you have to make, that whatever is wasting your time outside of that 9 to 5 period, which you need to be using to build up to greatness, you have to then tell yourself that actually you love that thing more than you do the goal that you're trying to achieve. And once you've reframed that in your mind, all of a sudden the usefulness of your time becomes a lot more higher, because you go to yourself, I mean, I don't love this more than I do my goal, so why am I doing it? Now, I didn't suddenly go from one day not utilizing my time and doom scrolling to becoming the most efficient man alive. It's a spectrum. It's a time. It's slow iteration, slow building. And it's taken me a while to get to a point where I feel like I'm slowly becoming more efficient. And these activities that the normies are doing, the civilians, I'm trying to slowly move away. I'm still half a civvy, but I'm trying to move out of it. I don't want to be a civilian. Learning number 2. Now, this builds off the last. Time is your most valuable commodity. You must learn to create it, and you must learn to utilize it. People say to me, oh, Tom, I don't have time outside of my 9 to 5. Well, as we know from that definition of love that we just spoke about previously, that simply means that they aren't willing to give up something in their life in order to maintain the relationship with the goal that they have. This thought process on how I think about time and giving up things has led me down this thought process that I'm about to explain. As I'm building a business while in a 9 to 5, I have a set time in my calendar for the week of when I'm building my business. During this time that I have set in my calendar from building my business, I set myself an hourly rate. Now, I'm not getting paid this hourly rate. Rather, it's a baseline for what I use to then dictate what I should be outsourcing. Simply meaning if a task isn't worth as much as I've set myself for an hourly rate, then I'm not doing it. A couple of examples being, if I've got a whole Saturday blocked out to work on my business and the hourly rate that I've set myself is $100, then it doesn't make sense for me to spend a whole hour making my lunch when I could spend $20, get it delivered, and have it gone 10 minutes done. Because if I spent an hour making my lunch, then I've just wasted $80 if I didn't just buy it there for 20. Another example is I'm paying quite a high monthly subscription for Claude. Now, Claude is an AI, and I use Claude Cowork, which is set up on my computer, and it automates a lot of tasks. Claude does scraping of data, data entry, inbox management, proposals, formulating plans. He does so much for me. He does all my admin for me. I outsource this because I believe that those tasks aren't worth my hourly rate, so I would rather pay the higher subscription amount, outsource them, and get him to do it. I think this is a complete no-brainer. And as I progress in my business journey and start earning quite a bit more, I will then up my theoretical hourly salary, which will mean that I'll start to outsource more and more, so then I can constantly be focused on the tasks that actually need to be done and focusing on what's actually moving the needle rather than just doing the admin stuff. If your endeavor is outside of the business realm and is in the sports, in the musical, in the arts, or something else, you can still use this principle. When you have time set for training, you set yourself an hourly rate, and anything that goes below that hourly rate, you outsource it, which will mean you'll prioritize your training a lot more and you'll be way more efficient with your time. Get your time back, people, and stop stressing, because most people are running around everywhere when if they just spent a bit of money, they could get their time back and actually be great. My third learning, don't expect people to understand. You're not trying to be average, so don't expect everyone to understand. A bell curve can be used to explain a lot of what happens in a population. And a bell curve shows that the majority of people are at the middle, and at the extremities, there are few people. And those are the few people that will understand you, but most will not. So if you want to fit in and be like everyone else and do what everyone else is doing, you have to reframe in your mind that you're being like everyone else, which means you're being average. Now, if you want to be average, that's fine. So to get what others don't have, you have to be doing things that others are not doing. So you should actually be completely fine with a lot of people telling you that your ideas are dumb or what you're doing is stupid or you're not going to make it, it's not going to happen, because that's what the average person is telling you. And you don't want to be average, so you have to be thinking and acting in a way that isn't average. Inversion thinking. This is a popular framework that has been created by Charlie Munger. And a thought that's came out of it is, if you don't want to be like everyone else and there's no one in your circle that you have a role model or look up to, then what you can do is just do the opposite of what average people are doing, and that's a great start. My conclusion, can greatness be achieved while being in a 9 to 5? Absolutely. Can you create exit velocity while in a 9 to 5 to escape your 9 to 5? Absolutely. The caveat, it will be hard and you won't fit in at times. You have to be fully convicted of your goal, that they are wrong and that you are right. They won't understand because most average people don't understand world-class goals. Am I delusional? Quite possibly. But I truly believe that delusion is a prerequisite for achieving something great in your life. If you're not slightly delusional with the level of goal that you want to have, you need to up the level of your goal. This has been T Megatron rambling again about some random stuff that I've been thinking about this week. Yours truly, God bless.